All right, as requested, I'm going to show you a step-by-step process of how I make these leather covers for my journal. This is my latest one. It's pocket size. This is where I have just miscellaneous ideas, thoughts, journal entries, something that's light and portable. But today we are going to create one that is going to be for my daily diary, my deep dive, commonplace, my journal, if you will. So this chunkster is going to hold all of the things I do want to archive throughout time. This Hobonichi Weeks is what I use mainly for just appointments and future events. And then my pocket carry is just things that I want to carry with me without forgetting, but it can be recycled, thrown out, or it can be torn out and tipped into my journal. So I am going to share with you exactly how I make these leather covers that I've been enjoying throughout the years. Here on my channel, I've shown all of the covers that I make. It's so fun, and you guys, it's so easy. So I encourage you to give it a try. This is a black color, dark brown. This trifold is a deep, rich burgundy, and I even have the deep, rich burgundy for my moleskin. But today we're going to use a different and new color. You know, the inspiration behind today's leather cover is actually due to this beautiful Hobonichi design for 2026. Well, not this exact one, but it's this same dimension. It is the Foggy Plaid cover. I will insert a picture right now so you can see how it looks. But that color is so beautiful. Like, it spoke to me. I loved the warm, well, I think it's warm on their picture. It looks like a warm brown and like a warm gray. And I have been in my grays and my brown kind of mood. All of last year, I was using my brown fountain pen inks and my brown like Twisby, Cafe Crema. And then this year, I've been really into my grays. I love my gray Kakuno fountain pen and my Earl Grey Diamine, my regular gray ink pen. So I'm just into my grays. And that cover, that Hobonichi Cousin cover is beautiful because it has like the best of both worlds. It has the brown and the gray. I'm showing you this. This is from a different year, and I could still use this with my Moleskine. The Moleskine Expanded specifically, that has 400 pages. The sad thing is, though, on their website, and well, I'm recording this in the first week of October, it's sold out. The A5 and I think the A6 Foggy Plaid has sold out, and on the Hobonichi website it's saying that they don't know if they're going to do a restock. It's still undecided, and I hate to play into FOMO, but I'm really having this I'm really experiencing FOMO, the fear of missing out. I'm like, dang it, I should have jumped on it when I first saw it, but you guys know, with the whole tariff and everything, and you couldn't buy the cover unless you bought the cousin, and I wasn't sure if I was going to use a Hobonichi Cousin. So now I feel like I missed out. Like, I should have ordered it on launch date. I was going to give myself time, a reasonable amount of time to think about my lineup, to be intentional, but now instead I'm feeling regret. So that's the inspiration behind this cover that I'm about to share with you, so you guys have the backstory. But here is how it looks. If you are interested in a Hobonichi A5 Cousin, it could fit the Moleskine Expanded. And while it does not, you still have about like an inch or so here left, the gap. I find like this is perfect because if you do want to put like a chunky pen, you can still fit it in here without it being, too close to the edge, and it could tuck in here. Or even you can use, hold on, I'll show you. When the journal gets really chunky, like you guys are familiar with my Moleskine Expanded. Let me get a page here, stuff. Okay, so if you, again, this is the Moleskine Expanded, but if you are like me and you love like a good chunky journal, this, just imagine like in time throughout the year as it bulks up, because it's not quite A5 size, it's A5 slim, you could use your pen to close it like this. Yeah, so I was planning on using that Foggy Plaid cover, especially during the winter, because it's perfect for like this cozy winter season that's coming up. And I know myself, I'm not going to use that cover during the spring. So I was hoping to use it like as soon as possible. And I did not want to wait until January to use that cover. I wanted to kind of use it around like, now October, November. But I think I waited too long because they sold out. So that's the backstory of the inspiration behind, ta-da, this cover. This is how it turned out. You guys, I just love this so much. Let me show you how I made it. So I'm not a professional. I'm just showing you how I do it. Just a common crafty person that does not want something too intimidating. I want something that's very easy and somewhat budget friendly, just in case I mess it up. And I don't know about you, but if something is just too expensive or if I invested too much into it, I'm very precious with it. I'm very delicate. And sometimes I'm even afraid to utilize it to the fullest because I don't want to get it scuffed or scratched up. But because something like this I know I've made, it's not that I don't value it. It's just that I'm not afraid to ding it up because I know I can make another one. So this color is gray. This is a beautiful gray that I don't know, I'm in my gray phase, and I will link down below exactly where I got it if you're into this type of color. The measurement is going to be enough to make this A5 Slim. This is a Moleskine Expanded blank version. This typically I have good experience with paper quality when I get the blank expanded version through clearance on Amazon. Now I'm going to flip this over, and you kind of want to look at your leather piece. Where do you want it? If there's any scratches or if there's any scars, if there are any rolls. Some people like the characteristics of the leather. Me, I'm just going to do it from edge to edge. And this 12 by 24, this can actually turn into like 3 different, covers for the price. So let me show you with my burgundy one. Basically what I did, I just cut this right here, and it's the exact dimension that I need for my A5 Slim. Not exactly A5, because A5 is going to be a little bit wider, but A5 Slim, which allows me enough overhang. So I just flip it over, and then I really just get my ruler and a pencil. I look right here on the edge. Okay, where do I want how much of an overhang do I want the moleskin to have on the top? And I know I'm going to want a little bit. And then from there, I'm really just going to draw a line with a pencil. So that way if I mess up, I can erase it. This leather is very thin, which is my preference because then it's floppy, just like how I like my soft covers. I like floppy soft cover notebooks because, if I throw my pen in here, I can close it and it can still be fine with my elastic closure. Now, before I cut it, I have to explain that you want to envision how you're going to use this this leather. If you want it sewn, if you want elastics inside, if you want to turn it into a folio. For me, I currently, I'm in the process of investing in a sewing machine, but until then, what I am going to do, because this notebook is so thick, I don't think I'm going to use the elastic to thread through to keep this notebook bound inside the leather. I'm going to use this adhesive sticker, and the adhesive sticker is going to be used as a placeholder like this. And then, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the sticker in, on the back. And then from there, I'm going to gauge how I want the notebook. Okay. So the top looks good. And the bottom, see, I can see that the sticker is actually there's a little bit of overhang here. I know you guys can't see, but it's a little bit of an overhang. So because I need to accommodate for that overhang, I need to make the leather go past that slightly. So I'm going to, I think that should be straight. And you really only have to go over this like once or twice. Oh, there you go. Wow, that was easy. Do you see? Just once, really. Let me get this end. Ta-da! And there you have it. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. But just to show you, this one piece, this scrap right here, you can make an A5 size. If you have like, this is an A5 size. I still have enough like that. Or I could even technically make another moleskin like this. And then this flap that's left over would actually be that perfect size. Is it the same size as a pocket? Yeah, it would work as a pocket, because if I open this up, okay, there's like a little bit extra right here, but you can make this into a pocket. This extra scrap, I imagine you can maybe cut it and turn it into like leather pockets, but I have 3 sizes from this one piece. But I hope that has helped you. And now that I have this, okay, let me put in this sticker, this placement. Let me see. Okay, just kind of get a feel of where you want it. Let me hold this in the corner. I'm going to peel this adhesive sticker. I'm going to press down so that way it stays on there. Yeah, that's firmly in place. Now it's pretty much locked in, but I'm not done yet. This is where I would punch in my hole so it could be an elastic closure. I think I'm going to work on the cover. I'm going to do a second color, and that is going to be paired with, these are some leather remnants, paired with some leather remnants that I saw at my craft supply store. Random, it's like a random mix. You don't really know what you're getting. But I love just some of the variety and the texture, the imprint on here, the cutting, the different colors. Such a good, variety. And the one that caught my eye for this particular cover is this one right here. You can see it has like the clamp mark on this particular piece, or a couple of the clamp marks right here, and it's already cut from whatever project this came from. And I'm thinking of using this on the front as a pocket. So when I have my notebook in here, it's going to be on the front like this. I just love the look. This extra flap, I think I'm going to leave it so that way I can keep it glued. This cover has turned out, wow, so much better than I thought. I finally put the front pocket on. The glue has dried, and this is that piece of leather that I shared with you, that leather scrap. What I did essentially was contact cement. I mean, I guess you could use Fabri-Tac as well, but I used this just to make sure it was really going to bond on here. And I wanted to make sure this pocket part was going to be accessible. So I basically just started right here. This glue already has a little brush on here, and I just use that brush. I use the opposite side, but I basically just put the glue on the leather flap here, and a little bit on the actual gray cover, so that way when they press together, it's glue on glue. And then I put glue right here on the bottom. And then I put a little bit of glue right here on the edge. So that way this pocket doesn't completely open up, but it's enough where I can tuck in stuff here in the front, whether it's a pen, whether it's, you know, pieces of paper as reminders. It could fit that in there comfortably. The back, I mean, I really don't look at the back piece. I don't care if it looks like this. It's always sitting on my desk like this anyway. And then the inside, because there was extra leather here on the bottom that I cut off, I just repurposed that leather and I turned it into an inside pocket flap. And again, same thing. I got the contact cement. I brushed some on the gray cover right here, and then I brushed some on the back side of this. And then I maybe waited a minute or so, and then I pressed them together. I really wanted to use this extra leather piece because it has this clamp on the leather, and I like that, the characteristics of this particular piece. So it's just unique, and yeah, I'm just loving this. This gray cover, it does scratch up, but it's very soft. It's very lightweight. I weighed this cover with the pockets and everything, and it came out to be like just, I think 4 ounces, which totally works out for my Moleskine Expanded because you already know how chunky this notebook can get. The back is again still the same clear pocket. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another pocket here. So this can be used for, you know, my inbox, notes that I want to keep, maybe sticker ephemera, printables, you know, just whatever you need, reminders. But this could also be used, put envelopes in here, again, pens. I like to use color coding. So my multi-barrels, it's hard to find pen loops that will fit comfortably. So just by having it here in the pocket, and then I use the elastic, it's already secure. Oh, that's another thing I did. I punched through on the leather. So I went all the way through on here like that. And I got my hole punch and made sure I did this on a very hard surface, like on cement. And yeah, so it's double. It went through here and it went through this gray leather, but again, this leather is very thin, so it really worked out. And then this elastic is from, you know, my little stash. And the last but not least, oh, but if you use like thinner pens perhaps, or pencils, or whatever your writing tool is, they sell elastic pen loops. And I had this gray one, and I considered adding it here on my cover, but realistically, the pens that I like to use and I plan on using with my Moleskine Expanded, they're going to be my thicker pens, like my TWSBI and my, you know, my fountain pens, my multi-barrels. And I like to switch it up because I know I'll probably do some art spreads. So it's like, no use keeping a small pen loop when I can just, you know, use this pocket if this is going with me out and about. Now I considered for a split second making my own pen loop with this leftover leather scrap and maybe gluing this and then cutting this part off right here and then attaching it. I could attach it to like a piece of, you know, this sticky part and then just adding it, and then this could be, you know, a pen loop. I kind of like the contrast. So what do you guys think? Should I do that? I mean, I could still do that as an option, and then because it's on the elastic, I could just easily, you know, like rip that off. But I don't know, I'm still considering it because I kind of like the look. Well, now that I look at it, I don't know, maybe I kind of like the look without the pen loop. Let me share with you my last edition that I'm going to do for now. Okay, so there's some paper bits in here just to show you an example of what I plan on doing. There, okay, so in this set, this pocket, it came with 5 or 6 other ones, and it looks like this. So you can get these pockets, you know, these larger pockets like this, but it also came with 3 of these like card slot pockets like this, where they insert on the top. And I think what I'm going to do, because it might be a little too wide, I mean, it could work. This is thin enough where I could bend it. Let me see. That could work. And I can put it underneath. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a double pocket and stick this on. And then I could use this for those spiral notebooks that I have if I rip out my grocery list, or just little snippets and reminders that I don't plan on archiving, but maybe I do need to reference throughout the week or throughout the month. It can be slipped in here, and then it's separated from my other, maybe, you know, whatever else is in here. Maybe I don't want to get it mixed up with important printables and whatnot. Or if I want to maybe keep these here, then this could be used for post-it notes and other stickers, and then just keeping it kind of separated but still in sight. Because for me, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and I tend to forget about it. But because it's like that, I'll remember, oh yeah, I remember I had these little stickers or these stamps I need to use up, but it's kind of separated. I don't know, I just like that. And I think it adds a little bit more structure to this cover. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna stick it on there. How high do I want this? Probably right there. The only thing is with this, these stickers, which is a good thing, it's very, very tacky. It's very, very sticky, especially with this leather. So once you place it on there, it's pretty much like going to stick on there. It's hard to really rip off. So you want to make sure you know exactly where you want to place it, because it's hard to like take off and adjust, speaking from experience. Yeah. So I'm just going to stick that there. I mean, I could have technically like snipped the top part, and this could have been like a secretarial pocket, but I'll keep it like this for now. And then I have this, and because this is leather, I just like, it just keeps the paper like secure. You can see it's not falling out anywhere, whereas when I had this, things were kind of falling out. They were sliding because this is paper on paper. So I used this clip to somewhat keep it secure. But the leather, it actually, as you can see, I'm, you know, moving this and it's still staying tucked in there. Oh my goodness, I'm loving this cover. I think this is probably going to be my favorite cover. Yeah, I'll be using for months. And then of course I got my own charms. I already had this charm. And this charm is by the Traveler's Company. This was from a necklace. I actually took it off my necklace here. There we go. So this is the final look. I'm going to go to my craft store, Michael's, and find some charms for these book ribbons on my Moleskine. When there's a little bit of weight, I notice I prefer that. It just makes it easier to use and to find and to use as a placeholder. So these I got from Michael's as well. My Woodstock and my Snoopy that I put on the paper clip, that is from Michael's. And then this glass heart bead is from Michael's. So I'm going to go and see what type of charms I can find. And I was almost thinking about putting some rivets on here, but I'm not sure. I don't want to do too much. I want to enjoy this as it is. It's so soft, you guys. This cover is so soft, and again, it's lightweight, and I can just only imagine when it gets chunky. Okay, hold on. Let me grab one of my, because this is a new one, and I'm going to show you guys how I set it up. Actually, now that I have you here, let's date it. What month? This is October. Okay, hold on. I'm going to get my little stamp. We're going to date it October 25, so October. Yeah, the date doesn't really matter. It's just the month. And then I'm just gonna stamp it. This is a scanned image I took of like stuff I had around the home in my garden and my flowers, and I actually used Mod Podge to seal in the pressed flowers. So I think I'm going to, where should I date it? Should I date it on the front or right here? I'll just date it here on the bottom. Yeah, October. So now I know when I started it. And then I'm just gonna put a little highlight right here. I'm excited. This journal has been calling me, and yeah, I'm very intuitively led when it comes to my creativity. You know, if I don't feel like creating, I don't force myself to create. If I don't feel like writing, I don't force myself to write. I think just with most things in life, if I don't feel like doing anything, if I don't feel like reading, if I don't feel like the only exception is like work. You know, some days we don't feel like work, but you know, we have to do work. But things that require my creative energy, I don't force it. I just wait for the right moment to come, and I just feel like, yep, it's time to start a new journal. You know, I've been enjoying my life log this year, but it's pretty much done. This is over, and I'm pretty confident in how I'm going to use this, which is really going to be my commonplace diary. It's not going to have my to-do lists. It's not going to have my my checklist, my grocery list. No, I don't want that. I want this to be an archived book of my life, my not my teachings, but just things that I learn, information that I've acquired, things like that. I'll show you guys some pages in the upcoming days. Let me get that chunky Moleskine Expanded. Okay. I keep referencing these because these are like some of my chunkiest ones, my favorite ones, and I can't wait to chunk up my moleskins because I am just in this creative mood. Oh my gosh, you guys, look how beautiful that looks. See, it still hugs it nice. It looks like a book. Like, can you just imagine this sitting on the bookshelf and just like all of, you know, like the memories in here. Oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. Yep, can't wait. And then just opening it up like this, closing the elastic. The overhang is perfect for me. I like my book to be pretty flush. Oh my goodness. And again, because this cover is so light, it doesn't add, you know, like extra weight to this. But I'm so glad that I was here to share this with you guys, and I hope this motivates and encourages you to try a DIY project, make your own covers. I mean, you don't have to use leather remnants if you want to. Here's the other part of the gray cover. This is how it would look if it was just gray, and you can use like a colorful elastic. Do I have any around? No, but you know, maybe if you want a pop of color, you could get, you know, like a red elastic, yellow, orange. You can switch it up, but this is how it would look without this camel color. But I love this contrast. Now I'm off to the craft store. And if you're a Moleskine journal lover like myself, then feel free to stick around because I will be showing some setup ideas, some page spreads that aren't too personal, more art related, and more. So thanks for hanging out.